sure that Timothy Peters is going to be able to drive away with a man and his legs hanging out the passenger side of the truck. Ray, also problems going on with the 17, right?
Yeah, at first they thought it was an alternator issue. They did change the battery on this last round of pit stops, but they think now it had something to do with the ignition box. So he switched over to the B box, and the guy who jumped in the window was to completely unplug the A box, so that way it's not drawing power continuously. And now let's check in at the other end of pit road with Hermie.
Well, Ray, the 13 of Johnny Sauter spent an extended amount of time on pit road with the hood up. I came down to check with the team, and it's not an engine problem. They were dragging the racetrack. They physically had to go in there and raise the front of that truck to get the splitter off the track. Sauter hopes that helps his handling condition.
Josh Richards. There's a surprise. Brendan Gaughan up next to the wall. Oh,
and
trouble.
Into the 8 of Nelson Piquet is the 13 of Johnny Sauter. Hard contact.
Sauter was minding his own business, just coming off the turn. Piquet got spooked, I think, a little bit by where Brendan was. Moved to the left, away from Brendan Gaughan, and right into the side of Johnny Sauter, our point leader.
Take another look.
Watch this now. Watch the exhaust out of Brendan Gaughan's on the left side there of the screen. You see him back off the throttle. He sees those guys make contact. He was going to back off to give those guys a chance to figure out which direction they were going to go.
This could be a lot of damage to the right side of our point leader's truck.
Pretty hard hit there.
Yeah, the truck's almost bounced up off the ground. Watch this contact. Boom. He was just expecting Nelson Piquet to be out there where he belonged. He didn't know. Johnny didn't really realize, I don't think, that Brendan Gaughan had crept up on the outside and made it 3 wide. Johnny's just exiting the corner, assuming that Nelson Piquet is just going to come off the corner normal.
Go up to the wall.
Yeah, like he's supposed to, but he didn't know Johnny had jumped in that hole. But
13 of Johnny Sauter hit the wall.
Flat tire coming outside, coming to you guys, flat.
So Johnny Sauter.
Right side.
Going to ask for right side tires as he slows on the racetrack, making the hard left turn onto pit road.
Man, it's been an interesting month or so for this team.
See that right front tire is flat on that truck, Hermie.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter coming to pit road. He's had a couple of tire issues during green flag conditions in recent weeks, really hurting his points position and his position on the racetrack. They're going to come in and get right side tires and try to get him back on the racetrack and fuel, but losing valuable track position is Johnny Sauter.
The wall, though.
See, Johnny just gets a little high there. That he may have had a slow deflation of that right front tire.
And if he did, and that's all the damage he did to that truck, that's really, really lucky. And that looks like indeed what might have happened. You can see he's not trying to run the top, Phil, but the tire goes flat right there and takes him up the track.
Fortunate for Johnny, that thing just barely lost a little bit of air.
And you know, when he had that contact that you mentioned earlier, Rick, we thought he'd come to pit road and work on that thing, but I don't think that team came to pit road.
They didn't come to pit road. They sure didn't. They stayed on the racetrack.
Busch drops back to third, and the 17 of Timothy Peters is
yelling
around.
down, get it fired up and rolling here. Fired up and rolling.
Left rear tire is gone on Timothy Peters'
Come
truck.
right on down here if you need to. Come right on down here if you need to.
I believe I'd come down there. You got to have
Right rear went out on me. Okay, cut a right rear down. Yeah.
Left rear.
Right rear's up, left rear down. Now remember, they worked on the battery on that.
To the driver, it's going to feel the same though. He knows it's a rear tire. He's thinking right rear, but it's actually the left rear.
Timothy Peters, you can see the left rear tire is flat right there. Timothy, no damage to that tire, Phil. And Rick made a point. The battery's inside that left rear corner. You don't think maybe they left something loose in there and it maybe rubbed that tire? The battery could have gotten loose.
Well, there's a door.
There you go.
That's his battery. That's his battery right there.
But there's something that holds, obviously,
there's a battery
comes
door.
off.
They didn't have it on there, obviously fastened the proper way.
And what it did first of all was rubbed a hole in the tire, and then it finally made its way out. But there's another battery. Don't think he's running around without one.
There's two in there.
Yeah. How's he doing that?